Picture a hospital waiting room somewhere in the UK. A simple sign says, "Would you like to register as an organ donor?" You look down, there's a checkbox on the form. But here's the kicker. The default option makes all the difference. In one town, everyone has to opt in to register. In another, almost everyone's already registered unless they say no. This subtle nudge doesn't just shift numbers, it saves lives. How do tiny design tweaks like this stealthily push billions of decisions worldwide? Buckle up, because this isn't about control. It's about choice architecture, and it's everywhere. Defaults are like invisible hand raisers. You don't notice them, but they shape choices massively. What can happen when governments flip one tiny checkbox? Let's peek into real worlds where defaults rewrite behavior. In Wales, after switching to an opt-out organ donation system, registration rates jumped from 50% to 80%. The secret: most people don't fuss over small print, so if the default is yes, social good skyrockets. But this flips the script on consent and freedom. How far should nudges push without us knowing? The numbers climbed, lives saved soared, and suddenly a tiny legal tweak became a public health revolution. Think of choice architecture like a savvy traffic cop at a busy intersection. Instead of ordering where you must go, it subtly directs you through green lights most of the time, yet lets you swerve if you want. This helps avoid accidents without screaming commands. Defaults, framing, and presentation are all lanes. If engineered thoughtfully, they redirect behavior without locking you in. Nudges don't chain your hands, they redesign the crossroads. In the US, 401(k) enrollment once required active decision-making. Employers started flipping the default, automatic enrollment with an opt-out. Retirement savings shot up by 20%. Suddenly, inertia favors your future self, not just today's lazy impulses. This isn't manipulation, but a smart helper reshaping the nudge landscape. Making good decisions easier is a win for everyone, especially your bank account and well-being. Ever wasted 20 minutes on a form you swear was designed to frustrate you? That's sludge, the opposite of a nudge. It's paperwork, hoops, and tricks that stop us from good choices. So why does sludge persist, and how can we spot it? Chris tried to switch his health insurance plan online. 10 screens, 3 CAPTCHA tests, repeatedly duplicated info, and the constant fear he'd miss a hidden checkbox. Instead of helping him, the website drained his patience until he gave up. This is sludge in action, designed or accidental friction that blocks action, wastes time, and lets companies benefit from your fatigue. The bigger question: who gains when sludge wins? Sludge is like walking through knee-deep mud to reach your goal. Every extra step costs mental energy, saps motivation, and inflates frustration. Unlike nudges, which smooth the path, sludge piles up obstacles, triggering decision fatigue. It's the opposite of a friendly guide, more like a maze with trapdoors, deliberately or carelessly designed. And guess what? Even tiny frictions multiply, shutting down millions of good decisions. When a government simplified the process for claiming unemployment benefits, it cut forms in half and added chatbots. Claim rates jumped by 20%. They didn't bribe anyone, they just cleaned the path. Removing sludge is low-hanging fruit with huge payoffs. Less sludge means more action, more engagement, happier citizens, and often better outcomes for everyone involved. People aren't the perfectly rational thinkers economics loves to dream about. Instead, they're humans, prone to quirks and shortcuts. So how do behavior quirks mess with money, health, and everything else? At an American firm, employees were invited to join a Save More Tomorrow plan. They'd commit now to save more later, like when they got a raise. The catch: they never saw the money leave their current paycheck, so it felt painless. It worked spectacularly. Savings rates went through the roof. This clever nudge plays on human inertia and procrastination, turning supposed weaknesses into savings superpowers. Imagine you're buying wine and the first bottle costs $100. Now, a $50 bottle feels like a bargain. Switch the anchor, and suddenly that $50 bottle feels expensive. That's anchoring bias. The first number you see hijacks your judgment like an uninvited mental lodger. It's everywhere from deals to salary talks, silently steering your choices without a whisper. People chunk money into mental boxes: fun money, bills, savings. But these mental accounts aren't real. They trick us into overspending, fun money, even when bills aren't covered. This mental accounting messes with priorities, making budgets feel broken when actually it's just your brain's quirky filing system. Recognizing this helps you hack your habits, steering cash where it counts. Governments aren't just bureaucracies, they're giant choice architects. A nudge unit in the UK quietly rewrote tax letters, organ donation forms, even COVID-19 guidelines. What happens when public policy meets behavioral science? When the US IRS changed its tax reminder letters to say 9 out of 10 people in your city have already paid, payment compliance increased dramatically. It wasn't threats or fines, it was a simple social nudge. The letter triggered peer comparison, tapping into our herd instincts to get the job done. This subtle tweak added millions in revenue without hiring an extra collector. During the pandemic, governments used nudges to encourage mask wearing and social distancing without heavy-handed mandates. Signs showed smiling faces wearing masks, messages highlighted collective impact. Your choice protects neighbors, making compliance feel like an easy, positive choice rather than an imposed rule. This approach helped boost adherence and trust in a crisis. In behavioral campaigns around climate change, framing messages as gain, not loss, yields better results. Instead of "stop destroying the planet," messages like "join others saving trees and clean air" create positive identity nudges. When people feel part of a good cause already underway, they're likelier to join in and sustain green habits. Nudges don't have to be dull or preachy. Sunstein and Thaler found that fun makes good choices stick. What if behavioral science put on a party hat and changed how you pay, save, and shop? Febreze originally flopped as an odor remover because customers didn't notice their homes smelled bad. The breakthrough? Market it as a finishing touch to cleaning, rewarding completion rather than fixing a problem. People felt accomplished spraying Febreze, turning a chore into a little celebration. This fun spin nudged better purchasing behavior, showing how psychology meets marketing magic. Some banks use apps that turn saving into a game, rounding up purchases, awarding badges, or leveling up goals. Users report more enthusiasm and commitment. Gamification leverages our love for progress and fun badges, turning money management from tedious to addictive. When the brain enjoys it, better choices aren't forced, they're wanted. Health campaigns that use humor. Imagine cartoons warning about sugary drinks or video skits about exercise, reduce resistance. Humor lowers defenses, making folks more open to advice without feeling judged. This cheeky approach spurs healthier habits by connecting with emotions, not just statistics or guilt. Remember that organ donation form in the waiting room? We started there because it shows the pulse of nudging. You're never robbed of choice, you're just helped along the way. Whether we talk defaults, sludges, or playful nudges, the core is about making good decisions easier, not coercing. So next time you hesitate on a checkbox, notice the architecture framing your choice. Then try a gentle nudge for yourself, whether it's automating a savings plan or clearing out your own sludge. Small changes, enormous impact. That's the Nudge Promise. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.